The cafe was full, yet he sat there feeling painfully, unbearably alone. No one noticed the man in the corner, head down, fingers trembling slightly, eyes carrying the weight of a heart that had forgotten how to beat without breaking. But she noticed. A girl with soft eyes and a silence so deep, it felt like she had lived 1,000 quiet heartbreaks of her own. And destiny quietly shifted. Before the story continues, dear viewers of Whispers of Kindness, pause for just a moment. If this beginning touched your heart, please like, share, comment your thoughts below, and subscribe. Your support keeps these emotional stories alive. He didn't look up when she approached. He didn't even hear her footsteps. He was lost, trapped in memories he didn't ask for, haunted by a voice he once loved. His fiancée had left him 6 months ago, without a fight, without closure, without a single explanation. Just a single message on a cold morning. I'm sorry. I can't do this anymore. Since then, he had been walking around like a shadow wearing a human body. She, whose name he didn't know yet, sat at the table beside him, quietly opening a book she never read, because her eyes weren't on the pages. They were on him. Not out of curiosity, but recognition. She knew what a broken heart looked like. She carried one too. He finally looked up when he felt someone place a tiny napkin on his table. Just a napkin, with a single handwritten line. Sometimes silence heals what words destroy. He stared at the words. Then at her. She didn't smile. She didn't speak. She simply nodded gently, like someone who didn't want to intrude, but wanted him to know he wasn't invisible. It was the first moment in months his chest loosened enough for air to feel like air again. Did you write this? He asked softly. She nodded. Why? She hesitated, then wrote on another napkin, because you look like someone who needs to hear it. He exhaled, a breath filled with weeks of pain. What's your name? He whispered. She paused again, then wrote, Aria. Aria, he repeated slowly, carefully, like the name itself was fragile. She took another breath and added the second line. I don't talk much. He gave the smallest, saddest smile. That's okay. I talk too much for both of us. And for the first time in months, he laughed, barely a sound, but still a laugh. Aria didn't speak much, but she listened like listening was her love language. He began returning to the cafe every day, not for the food, but for that silence that felt kinder, softer, safer than any word spoken to him in years. She communicated through notes, gestures, shy smiles. He shared stories through broken sentences, long pauses, trembling sighs. Two wounded people, somehow healing each other without a promise, without an intention, without a label, just presence, just quiet, just something. But life never allows a beautiful bond to grow without testing it. One afternoon, his ex-fiancée walked back into the cafe. Aria froze. She watched the woman walk toward him, watched old pain surface in his eyes, watched his fingers shake the way they did on the first day she saw him. Can we talk? His ex asked gently. And Aria felt something she never thought she could feel again, fear of losing someone she hadn't even claimed. He looked at Aria first, not at his ex. For the first time, he chose silence over history. No, he whispered. There is nothing left to talk about. His ex frowned. You've changed. Maybe, he said, eyes softening as they turned toward Aria. But maybe I finally found something that doesn't hurt. His ex left. Aria's eyes filled instantly, though she didn't let tears fall. He sat across from her slowly. She broke me, he said quietly. But you taught me how to breathe again. Her hands trembled as she wrote. You healed yourself. I only sat beside you. He shook his head. No, you showed me that silence can be love too. But Aria had her own scars. Scars that weren't made of heartbreak, but of fear. She had lost her voice in a childhood. Trauma that stole more than words from her. It stole confidence, trust, self-worth. Why don't you speak? He asked gently one evening. She wrote a single heartbreaking line. Because someone once told me my voice was a burden. He felt tears burn behind his eyes. Aria, he whispered, your silence is the gentlest thing I've ever known. And if one day you decide to speak again, I hope my name is the first word you say. She didn't cry. She just looked at him, really looked. And he realized something. She wasn't silent because she was broken. She was silent because she had survived. Weeks turned into months. Healing turned into closeness. Closeness turned into something unnamed but undeniable. One night they stood on the rooftop of that same cafe, watching the city lights like lost stars finding their way home. He took her hand slowly, carefully. "Arya," he whispered, voice trembling. "I like your silence." She smiled, small, soft, trembling. "It feels like home," he continued. She swallowed, and for the first time she wrote something longer. "And your broken heart? It doesn't scare me. I fell in love with it the day I saw you sitting alone trying to breathe." He closed his eyes. No confession had ever felt as pure. "Arya," he whispered, voice cracking. "Is it okay if I fall in love with you too?" She nodded. But then something happened he never expected. She opened her mouth. Her voice, soft, shaky, barely louder than a breath. Yes." He froze. Tears escaped before he could stop them. She spoke again, trembling harder. "Yes." Her first spoken word in years. Was for him. Her silence had fallen in love with his broken heart, and his broken heart had learned to beat again because of her silence. Months later, they sat in the same cafe, holding hands, smiling at how two damaged souls had built something beautiful out of nothing but kindness, patience, and quiet love. He didn't need grand declarations. She didn't need perfect words. They only needed each other. And sometimes, love whispers louder than any voice. Dear beautiful viewers of Whispers of Kindness, if this story touched your heart even a little, please like this video, share it with someone who needs warmth today, comment your feelings below, and subscribe for more emotional stories. Your support means everything. Sometimes a broken heart just needs a gentle silence, and sometimes silence finds a heart worth speaking for.